It is absolutely 110% not a coincidence that the wealthiest and most successful investors in the entire world, such as Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jim Rogers, Warren Buffett, the Hunt brothers, just to name a few, all own silver. I also don't think there's a coincidence that the most powerful and prominent banks in the entire world also own silver, such as JP Morgan. I also don't think there's a coincidence that the most dominant and powerful countries all own silver, such as Russia, India, China, to name a few. But for some reason, people make their opinion on silver's value by what the price is in dollars. Why? Look a bit deeper at what it's used for, and then you might start to understand why there's no coincidence whatsoever that the wealthiest people, biggest banks, and most powerful countries all hoard silver.
Connection established.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, the channel that brings you silver videos every single day of the week. So make sure you subscribe and definitely click the bell so you immediately get notified anytime there's something important updated in the world of precious metals. And since everything affects the price of silver, then I basically have to cover everything that happens in the world, geopolitically, economically, fundamentally. So it's your one-stop shop for news. You'll get updated. Everything is here. So I wanted to cover something pretty important. So Robert Kiyosaki posted something or made a quote, and it's very important to note that he's mentioning buy or invest into gold, silver, and Bitcoin before it's too late. The before it's too late part is very important to take note of as well. And by the way, if you guys didn't know, Robert Kiyosaki has written 3 books with Donald Trump. Donald Trump also lends APMEX space at one of his buildings in return for precious metals. And I was actually a special guest on Robert Kiyosaki's podcast. It's titled The Number One Asset Everyone Can Afford. It has 700,000 views. It's just him and myself talking about silver. You see me right there. Great episode. I hope you guys check that out, or if you already haven't. But I want to go into this because he says a lot, and he focuses on some very key things that I don't really touch on that much. And I could say the same about myself. I talk about some things that he doesn't touch on that much, and that's why that podcast, that episode was so interesting and so deep, so layered. So I want to cover this article, and also just to show that when I'm talking about Donald Trump, Elon Musk just bought a silver mine, and Jim Rogers, and Bill Gates, all these people, these are just the public figures, right? Robert Kiyosaki is the famous author that wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by the way. I should have introduced him. I'm sure you know him, though. His podcast has over 3 million subscribers. But these are all public figures. Think about the people behind the scenes, in the shadows. Those are the very wealthy people that buy silver. We just see the tip of the iceberg, so to say. So do you think this is all a coincidence? No. Like Andy Scheckman says, price is the greatest tool of misdirection. People judge silver off of its price, but they're not looking at silver itself. If you stripped silver's price away, just pretend no price existed for Bitcoin or silver or stocks, just looking at them realistically, and then looking at what they are used for, looking at how important they are in the world, silver should be more valuable than all of those things. And it is more valuable. Just you're looking at the value in dollars terms, which is the wrong way to look at it. So anyways, let's jump into this article. And by the way, if you guys want me to go back on his podcast, let me know. You guys could comment on his podcast, say, hey, bring Slayer back on or whatever. Because that would be awesome. That was a lot of fun. But so Mr. Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, I invest in gold, silver, and Bitcoin before it's too late. Why those 3? Well, because all of those are completely detached from the dollar. Just those, basically. Those are only the ones that are, well, crypto in general. That's why these are all directly or negatively correlated to the dollar. Once you invest into these three, you have taken the wealth, your money away from the government, put it into your own hands. You are in complete control now. You're not at the mercy of the government. Your stuff is decentralized, not in a centralized system, as banks are. And that's why bankers are going to recommend and push you towards stocks instead of crypto and precious metals. They're never going to recommend that because they want you pegged to the system. If you're in debt, you're a slave to the system. It's a power move, control tactics. So you could see why he would say these three and why I think it's important that you invest into one of these three. I think Bitcoin has a lot of opportunity as well. But I always say if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So precious metals, physical, is much safer in my honest opinion. So on the 26th, which is only a couple of days ago, Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the best-selling book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, once again urged people to invest into silver, gold, and the crypto asset Bitcoin before it's too late. Mr. Kiyosaki has long recommended investing in these three assets. And I want to highlight Bitcoin real quick because some people might say, hey, maybe crypto is a good idea. Just like seeing this statement. Only Bitcoin is, in my humble opinion, because Bitcoin only has a mintage cap of 21 million. There will ever only be 21 million Bitcoin. And like 19 million are already mined. Already mined. And a lot of those are lost in wallets from people that have passed away or lost their account or whatever. So there's only about 2 million Bitcoin left. And after that, it's gone. They can't create more Bitcoin. So for something looking at fundamentals, like I say, supply and demand, low supply, high demand pushes the price up. There's very low supply Bitcoin left to be mined, and mining difficulties getting harder and harder to find these, and that goes up, and the cost goes up with that. You can see why Bitcoin has potential. Silver, same reason. Very low supply of silver, very high demand, especially moving forwards. Gold, it's just a store of wealth. It's secure. So those three do make a lot of sense. Regardless if you like crypto or not, look at the realistics of it. And like I just mentioned, you can't make an assumption that there's 19 million Bitcoin already been mined. That's a fact. You can't, I'm just literally saying facts, and you can make your assumption or opinion off of the facts. But I'm just telling you the facts. And those facts do make it have potential. Whether you want to do that or not, I'm just literally saying what has potential and what doesn't. I can give you 100 reasons why stocks don't, 100 reasons why silver does. So, anyways, one of these reasons for this renewed call for investment appears to be the recent boom in the gold market, with price of gold approaching an all-time high in U.S. dollars, some cases hitting all-time highs. So he tweeted this on November 25th. Great news, gold reaches a new high. Bad news, workers and savers are losers. Bad news, been saying the same for 25 years. Don't be a loser, get out of fake money system, or out of the fake money system, get into gold, silver, and Bitcoin now before it's too late. I like how blunt he is. He was like that in the podcast as well. It was pretty funny. He's a funny guy. Oh, man. But it's like you said, he's been doing this he's been telling people for 25 years, get out of fake money. So anyways, when the dollar collapses, what matters is how much Bitcoin, gold, and silver you have. That is very true. And you can't look at silver in dollars terms. Like I said earlier, people determine silver's value off of what the price is. But what if the price isn't there anymore? Like I said, strip the price from everything. Just look at the things as they are. Pretend the dollar doesn't exist and we just have these things in front of us. Stocks, have silver, have crypto, have all these things. Just look at them without a price. Just look at what they do and how useful they are. Just take the dollar amount away. Because someday the dollar amount won't be there when the dollar collapses. That can give you a little bit of an idea on why investing into certain things matter. So he says, in the above post on Twitter, Kiyosaki described the boom in the gold market as great news. On the other hand, he said workers and savers are losers. I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. So, past statements, this is pretty cool as well. Looking at Mr. Kiyosaki's past claims, it seems that inflation is also behind his recommendations of assets such as Bitcoin. In the past, it has been cautioned that inflation is not a temporary phenomenon, as stated by the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. It is likely that prices will continue to rise for several years, calling out. What is inflation? An abbreviation for inflation, which refers to an increase in the prices of goods and services. On the other hand, it also means the value of money will decrease relatively. A good thing to point out about this, and actually someone emailed me this. Hold on. Someone emailed me this today. It was beautiful. So I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he said, I enjoy your post so much. You have a sincere way to explain financial things in simple terms. I appreciate that. He's like, all I knew how to do was work and pay bills on time. He's a retired employee, senior citizen, never purchased coins in my life, so I just converted to Silver Stacker. He said, but better late than never, which seriously, and like Robert Kiyosaki says, before it's too late. Right now, it's not too late for this person. So he says, from listening to your explanations, I am now convinced that buying precious metals is the best savings account to have for myself, till my children, grandchildren start educating themselves. And then he goes into Andy and loving our show. But then he goes into, this is the whole point I'm reading. He says, what I really liked was when you said, it's not about the price of silver going up, it's about the dollar going down. There you go. Sorry, I did not plan on reading that, but that just reminded me when they were talking about the inflation part, that reminded me of what I've been saying, right? It's, people say triple digit silver, that's crazy. No, it's not. When you think about how many dollars it takes to purchase something, then $100 for an ounce of silver doesn't sound that crazy. It's not silver going up to $100, it's the dollar becoming so deflated that it takes $100 to equal 1 ounce. Just like 50 cents back in the day could get you a gallon of gas. 50 cents can't get you a gallon of gas today. But back in the day, if you would, or when you handed that store clerk a Walking Liberty $50 for 50 cents for a gallon of gas, you were exchanging silver, 50 cents of silver inside of that, for gas, right? Nowadays, that Walking Liberty $50, 50 cents, can still get you a gallon of gas. Wait, Slayer, 50 cents can't give me a gallon of gas today. Yes, it can. If you had that Walking Liberty $50 like you did back in the day when money was real money, you could take that Walking Liberty $50, go to your local coin shop, sell it for $10 plus, $15, $20, get yourself a couple gallons of gas. See how that one coin back in the day could get you today the same exact thing? But nowadays our money is fake, so 50 cents can't get you a gallon of gas anymore. Our money is inflated now, and that's why putting your money in silver is like a time capsule. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, anyways, he also pointed out blockchain technology, which is the basis of things like Bitcoin, could be an alternative to monetary policy. And then the connection banks deposit U.S. commercial banks decreased by $13 trillion from the previous week due to financial instability. We are $34 trillion in debt, by the way. The dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. 98% is an insane statistic, by the way. That's not made up. Mr. Kiyosaki also made comments regarding these three assets to Twitter in August of this past year. He expressed the view that, as I have said for years, gold and silver are God's money and Bitcoin is the people's dollar. Ooh, I like that. He also predicts that if the world economy collapses at this time, the prices of these three assets will skyrocket. He expressed an extremely bullish view that the price of Bitcoin could rise to $1 million approximately 140 million yen. Connection: Kingdom of Bhutan expands Bitcoin mining behind the scenes, revealing the by satellite images. Remember, I said there was only 19 million Bitcoin left in circulation, or that have already been mined. So there's only 2 million left to be found. And if they're expanding Bitcoin mining, what happens when all the Bitcoin's gone? The people that hold it, that own it, can set the price. They can set the price. Producers turn into consumers, consumers turn into producers. People like you and I that want the silver, that want the Bitcoin, will be selling it to the people that need the silver, that need it. And they do need that silver if they want to go green at least. So we could set the price. We have the control. So anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Just want to make a little quick video about this. Thought it was pretty cool. And if you guys wanted to check out my episode with him, I recommend it, called The Number One Asset Everyone Can Afford. It's Robert Kiyosaki and myself. So yeah. Also, by the way, if you guys wanted to purchase gold, silver, or platinum, I have some deals for you guys. Also, another Slayer Cyber Week deal as well, which probably ends today, so make sure you jump on this. But it's I think it's 100 ounces minimum of Eagles at like $4.99 over spot. I think that's what it was. But I will actually tell you personally, you could actually, instead of emailing info@milesfranklin.com, email buy.slayer@gmail.com, and I will help you place that order. I will give you the price sheet. You can call me on the phone, or I'll call you on the phone. We could talk. I've been loving the conversations I've been having with all of you, helping you guys figure out what to order. It's amazing because I'm training to become a broker. I'll become a broker January, February. And I'm training right now because I want to be the absolute best broker in the world, and I don't want to just jump into it without understanding every single corner of it, so I can make sure that I am, that I really can, do this thing the right way. And you guys know it's coming from a loving place. This isn't about it. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. It's genuine. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Oh, by the way, I have some big videos coming out. So make sure that you stay tuned. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.